Alright, so it's been about a week since I've really worked out. Well, Sunday was the competition, and I did that short bench video, which I really didn't do any volume, so I wouldn't consider that a workout. But I've taken 5 days off, so this is the first day back getting a workout in. And I wanted to talk about why I would want to do a deload week and how I go about doing it. And this would be more aimed at the older guys, but I mean, anything useful can apply to anybody that does resistance training. So first, let me set the conditions. I am way overtrained, and how did I get to this point? Well, I was originally going to compete in December, but because of the lockdown, the meet I was going to compete at got canceled. Rather than stop training, I decided to pick a meet a few months in the future. As it turns out, it was June, so about 6 months, and I made the call to just keep training. And I took like 3 or 4 weeks off, and then I went right back into training. So when I got to this meet, I was at the end of my rope. I was dealing with multiple injuries. I almost didn't compete, and I'm glad I did, because it turned out to be one of the best competitions I've ever had in my life. But the consequences of me making that decision are that I am really, really beat up. I have almost no flexibility. My knees are swollen. My back is hurt. I've got tendonitis in my arms. I'm beat up. Like, I'm legitimately overtrained. The main difference between me and a lot of other guys that work out regularly is that I don't consider it exercise. I consider it training. So I rarely step inside the gym without some kind of a goal in mind. So the first thing I had to do is establish a goal. What am I doing? Why am I working out? What am I picking the weights up for today? What is it I'm trying to accomplish? Well, the first thing I want to address is that I don't want to lose any strength. The second thing is I don't want my physique to decline. And the third thing is I want to rehab some of these nagging injuries. So with those 3 goals in mind, that is why I've picked the rep ranges and weights that I'm working with. As far as the amount of weight I'll be working with, I'm not going to go over 50% of my training max today. And I'm going to keep the rep ranges between 10 and 20 reps. I'm going to kind of go by feel. So most of these sets are for 12 to 15. The second thing I'm looking at is what am I trying to accomplish? And I want to work on mobility and rehab, train around some of these nagging injuries I have. So I've selected a couple different squat stances and variations that are a little bit easier on the joints. The standing close together with your feet almost like you're standing at attention, and squatting to that box kind of really hits the quads really hard while leaving the rest of the body out of the lift. And then I switch to a really, really wide stance, which gives my hamstrings a nice stretch. Work some of those support muscles. So I'm just kind of I want to keep the barbell movements going. I want to get a good stretch, and I want to get a nice little pump on my legs. Now, since I want to do full body without really punishing myself, I'm going to go with some incline bench, and I'm going to superset it with some rowing motion here. I hooked up some hand grips to my little leg curl accessory machine here, and I could do little one-arm rows with it, and it works really nicely. You can really isolate the different back muscles depending on the where you place your arms. So I'm rotating these 3 exercises. I do 4 sets, and I do between 12 and 15 reps, and then I move into isolating the quads with the hamstring curl. I don't often do isolation moves where I can do a compound move instead. So instead of doing leg curls or hamstring curls, I'm usually going to opt for barbell squats, different variations. But sometimes it is nice to just be able to go easy and just isolate the target muscle group that you want to work out. Is it as good? It has its place. I wanted to show you this from the back, because with the little hand grip attachments that I put on the leg curl machine, I could put a couple plates on. Right now I have two 35-pound plates, and I could do single arm rows, and they're heavy. They hit the back really hard. I wanted to show you what my back's doing when I'm pulling these. As you can see, I get a really good contraction out of it. So that's kind of handy if you have a leg curl bench, a bench with a leg curl attachment. You can just clip a little hand grip on it, and you can use it to do rows and curls and things of that nature. So that's another way to get a different use out of equipment you already have, which is kind of my number one thing. I work with what I have. So now, since my goal is general fitness and physique, I want to get back into doing pull-ups. I am kind of experiencing some tendonitis and soreness, so what I opted to do is start with a band, get a warm-up set in just to get a feel for everything. The band takes a good 50 pounds off of me, so it makes doing pull-ups really easy. So, that's something, if you're trying to work up into heavier weighted pull-ups, you can always start your lighter sets with resistance bands to take some weight off of you, and then as you'll see as I progress and do these pull-ups, I remove the band, do a couple of body weight sets, and then I move into adding weight with a belt. So it's a nice easy way to do progression with pull-ups. Normally for the weight belt I would use plates or dumbbells, but I found since I purchased this handy little adjustable kettlebell, it's really awesome for doing weighted pull-ups and dips, because instead of having to hook plates up to the chain, which are unwieldy and a little bit awkward, and they bang into your shins and make you swing around a little, you have this little kettlebell with a handle, and I could just add plates to that, and it makes it a much nicer, more compact, easier to move through space, and safer, I think. I purchased these kettlebell handles, I don't know what you want to call them, on Amazon for like $30, and it came with two of them. So you can make two kettlebells, and you can have a light one and a heavy one, and that way you don't have to spend all of your time adding or taking plates off of it. You have a couple you can work with. And so far, I really like them. They're definitely worth the money. They're definitely worth $30. They're not the most heavy-duty item I've ever bought, but I've loaded them up to 100 pounds, and I haven't had any problems with them yet. I would say definitely worth $30. Just like you can use the band to take some weight off of you for doing pull-ups, you can do the same thing with dips. All you have to do is kind of loop them around your feet, and you stand on the strap while you're doing your dips. You do have to kind of stand in an upright position, but for doing warm-ups, your light sets, perfect. It's just an easy, you already got the band there, you're already set up. And if you're, trying to get to the point where you can do dips without assistance, or, maybe you're not strong enough to do sets of dips, this is an easy way to work into that, get strong enough, a good way to start. So for pull-ups and dips, my strategy is usually pretty straightforward. I pick a number that I want to accomplish, and then I just do as many sets as I need to get to that number. Usually with pull-ups, it's something like 50 or 75 or 100, and the first set might be 20, the second set might be 15, third 10, etc. In this instance, for the body weight sets, I'm doing higher reps, 15 to 20. And for the weighted sets, I'm in that 5 to 8 range. I treat body weight exercises the same way I treat barbell exercises. I log them in a book, I track my progression, I track how much weight I use. That way I can do the same, either linear or conjugate type progressions with these incorporated into my workout. I just treat them the same. Treat them exactly the same as you would any other lift. What I love about dips over, say, the flat bench is I feel my entire upper body working when I'm performing these, especially when I have weight around my waist. Are they more effective than bench? I don't know. I wouldn't say for sure. I don't have enough data to support that, but I feel like I'm getting a better overall workout when I do weighted dips over flat bench. My two main go-to tricep isolation exercises are close grip bench with a guillotine style press or skull crushers. Now the way I do skull crushers is I touch the bar to my forehead, and when I press the bar, I make sure and I don't go up all the way, so that I keep gravity tension on the bar. When I go to the top, when I extend to the top of the lift, I'm still forced to contract my arms because I'm not positioning the bar past the center of gravity. So you don't lose tension on it essentially, and I think this works great for hypertrophy. You get a really nasty arm pump out of it when you do it like that. You know, trying to sound all scientific-y. Well, I feel like I work my arms better if I don't go up all the way. How's that? Is that better? I also feel personally, the three best accessory exercises that translate to the flat bench that are not the bench are weighted dips, skull crushers, and close grip bench, depending on your variations. I feel like these really hammer the triceps. The triceps respond really well to heavy weight, and that transfers specifically right over to the flat bench. And it's been that way. In my observation, it's been how it's worked for me. Will it work the same for you? I couldn't say for certain, but I suspect it would. I want to finish this workout with a little bit of shoulder love, specifically the rear delts. Now, for me, the rear delts respond well, or they respond better to higher reps. What does that mean? 15 to 20. So a weight that's appropriate for sets of 15 to 20. Now, I love using the Roman chair to do shoulders. Not only does it force you to engage your core while you're doing them, but because of the angle that you find yourself at when you're lifting the weights, for me, I get a full contraction through the entire range of motion. So from all the way at the top to the bottom, I'm fighting gravity, and I feel like I get just that much more of an effective workout. You can use a barbell, you can use a curl bar as I am right here, you can use dumbbells, you can pick up water jugs, grab sandbags, you can probably grab a couple gallons of milk, whatever you got laying around. Just the Roman chair is awesome. I really love it. I love this thing. The chair I got's kind of cheesy. It's not heavy duty, so when I was using the heavier weights, I was noticing that it was starting to bend a little bit. So something to consider. I didn't spend that much money on this thing, and I'll probably upgrade to a better one in the future. But for now, it works great, especially for doing, ab work or, working on your shoulders, that sort of thing. You can use it for curls. You can do a lot with it. That's it for deload day. I went into the gym with a clear goal in mind. The goal was hit the body parts I feel like have been neglected: shoulders, quads, some of the other ones. A couple isolation exercises. I did 2 to 3 exercises per body part. Full body routine of moderate intensity and not super heavy, not super hard. I didn't kill myself, but I also didn't just go through the motions. I actually got some work in. It's perfect for all the grinding that I've been doing lately. Just a nice way to ease back into the gym. I'll probably continue to work out like this. I'll rotate in some different movements, see what I want to incorporate the next few weeks. And then, after a couple of weeks of just getting back into shape and healing a little bit, I'm going to then pick a specific direction that I want to go in, and I'll probably start ramping it up again, because it's just not in my nature to do nothing. Not to toot my own horn, but that's not too bad for a 47. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. All you need is a little bit of consistency. Hit me up if there's anything I can help you with.